going, guys? We are back with some more Total War Warhammer 2, and oh baby, do I have a game for you today. We have an entire Vanguard deployed ninja army from the Skaven. We have the forces of Chaos and the High Elves working together because, I mean, they're basically just as evil as Chaos. And we have an army of greenskins just dominating the battlefield as you love to see it. So yes, this is going to be a very, very exciting battle, and I have actually gone ahead and paused it because obviously we have an entire Vanguard deployed Skaven army that's just going to wreak havoc in the back ranks. I don't think any players are really expecting this type. I don't think this is generally a type of thing that players do very, very often. Normally it's just a Skaven artillery spam to overrun the opponents. But yeah, it should be a very, very exciting one. So we'll just quickly take a look at what the players are bringing. We'll start off on slow-mo. Might have to pause it if things get a bit too crazy. High Elves on their front line going to be situated with just some spearmen. A pretty sturdy force behind that. We do have Rangers. And then back there we do have some of the Dragon Princes and also some Lion Chariots. Love to see the Lion Chariots. They're always super exciting. And I love the green army paint on these guys. I think these are maybe the new DLC ones. Looking absolutely amazing. Definitely love the look of these bad boys. Then over on the left-hand side, the Forces of Chaos, they're going to be going with the Chosen Warriors with halberds, which is actually a pretty expensive choice, Chaos Warriors with halberds, rather than just going for like a normal Marauder front line. They've gone with a little bit of a heavier punch with some of the units, and obviously also the Aspiring Champions. I always see this unit popping up in online battles, so two of them bad boys on the front line. We also do have the Hell Cannon Soul Forged one, and we also have a Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, which is going to give us some good range to the defenders, especially. Well, it's kind of interesting because they've got such an aggressive Skaven force coming in. They might not want to sit back, so this artillery might not be as well invested. Then on the other side of things, we do have a force of a lot of alliances, I guess. We have Tomb Kings, we have Dark Elves, and we have Greenskins. An absolutely tremendous amount of cavalry on this side, ranging from the Forest Goblins to the Orc Boys. Then got some Skeleton Horsemen, and then finally the Dark Elves on their Raptors. So a very, very, very scary cavalry force on this right-hand side. But it's kind of almost like this battle is scripted because there are no forces over on this left-hand side. This cavalry on the left-hand side would have been absolutely devastating. They would have just been able to absolutely just surround and decimate these Death Runners who are coming in. Obviously, do keep in mind as well, all these Death Runners have Stalk. They're unstoppable. They're hidden right now. So again, none of these players know that this kind of blob is here. Absolutely amazing. I love the ninja ways of the Skaven. Can't wait to see if this actually does do the damage. Then for the rest of the battle line, we do have some of the Dread Spears on the front line, supported up by the Dark Shards with shields. So a bit of a tankier line. The Orcs are going to be wielding just a bunch of Orc boys on this front line. Nothing too serious, but we do have the big Black Orc Big Boss supporting them. And again, a very nice artillery regiment for the Orcs here. We have a Goblin Rock Lobber and two of these Doomed Out of Catapults as well. Insane range, can really get stuck in. The Tomb Kings themselves, again, just Skeleton Warriors on the front line. With notable units though, definitely going to be the Sharp D and obviously the awesome Tomb Scorpion. And we do also have a unit of these Stalkers who I believe got buffed not too long ago, so actually not a bad unit to actually bring to a battlefield, I don't think, anymore. So overall, a pretty nice setup for both players. Lots of scary units, and you can immediately start to see the High Elves sending over some of these aerial units to help support their allies, and I think these have just come into range right now. Yeah, there you go. The Skaven almost centimeters away from the Dark Elves, and boom, the trap has arrived, and we're going flying into the rear of the Dark Elves and doing some serious damage. Absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it. And you can see the Skaven just moving in, completely taking the Dark Elves off guard. But as you can see, like, it's not like there's a lot of pressure elsewhere, so this might not be a super effective way, because as you can see, the Greenskins are just going to immediately start to turn their way around and help support this. Obviously, there is a big engagement going on over on this left-hand side as Chaos do commit their forces. So I guess these guys are pretty spread out, but you kind of do need like kind of need to be hitting at the same time. You need the High Elves to be going in as the Skaven here, and that would have just been devastating. However, this is still playing out pretty well, as the Skaven are able to get some good surrounds onto the Dark Elf units before they can completely turn around and deal with this. You do, however, have Malekith on foot, which is something you don't get to see too often. I'm not sure if this is particularly amazing, but I guess it does save you a lot of money. I imagine one of Malekith's strengths is the fact that he can roam around the battlefield and just cast off a lot of winds of magic and do some serious damage, but it's always good to see him foot slogging as best as he can, because he is an absolute beast. I mean, look at that, ready to swing his sword and decapitate some rats going down right there. And as you can see, the greenskins are reinforcing quite nicely. The forces of Chaos getting stuck in, the Marauders just throwing their javelins in against the enemy units and just getting the hell out of there. However, the sharp team of great bows are picking away as much of that horse. And as I said, like, it's going to be pretty scary for a lot of the cavalry fights, because there is a lot of cavalry all stacked on this right flank. So as soon as these bad boys get stuck in, it's going to be dangerous. You can also see the devastating nature of the greenskin artillery just pounding away against the high elves, who are just, losing half their units to this fire, which is pretty scary. You also have the Tomb Scorpion as well being pounded by the artillery. Oh, a unit of skeleton riders getting a little bit too close here, and they're going to be taking some heavy casualties from these marauders, and obviously a unit of the Chaos with halberds is going to move in to deal with this. I imagine they're going to get ready to blow, or they're going to counter-charge. They do have excellent charge defense, so yeah, this is not going to be an issue for them whatsoever. Able to get stuck in, and that's a unit of cavalry completely taken. How are the rest of the forces doing over on this side? We'll go back down to slow-mo as things are kicking off. I mean, we do have some of the Blackguard of Nagaron getting stuck in now. They're going to be able to dispatch this along with the War Boss as well. However, the War Boss is starting to take a little bit of damage. Still looking pretty healthy, though, nothing to worry about too much. And I imagine Malekith as well is fine, or is that him completely surrounded? Again, I hate the effects in Warhammer, I really do. This just looks absolutely gross. I don't know what the hell is going on there. I don't know if Malekith is in there. And Malekith's all the way over on this other side. He has been debuffed to hell with the Assassin's Trophy and the Brittle Bone upgrade as well. So if these guys do get on him, he's going to die very, very quickly. But Snicket and the boys aren't quite chasing him down quite yet. They really need to be avoiding these Orc boys and moving on to Malekith, because he has so many debuffs right now that he would melt. He currently has a minus 60 melee. He has 0 melee defense right now, so they just need to dive all their attacks on him and they will shred him. He only has 3,000 HP on foot, so that's a unit they really want to get stuck in. And finally, we are seeing Alariel, the Radiant, now reinforcing and just diving down onto these crossbowmen. The Dark Shards with shields are going to be getting hit by her and her glorious eagle, and they just need more reinforcements. These Dragon Princes need to get involved in this battle ASAP. The sooner they get involved, the much more damage, and the much more likely the Skaven are going to be able to do their damage. Because again, the Skaven have gone all in on this strategy, so these Dark Princes and the High Elf really need to reinforce. And as you can see, I love the way this battle has set up, though. We have the forces of Chaos kind of curving in their formation and dealing with the extremely large amount of cavalry pushing in, and that's kind of curving the elves as well and stopping them from fully committing. They have managed to get some of their bowmen in range though, and the rangers, and obviously also the Sisters of Avalon are going to be firing in some pretty nice shots, but they are just hitting into skeleton warriors, which aren't really going to be their best unit to be focusing down. Obviously the Sisters of Avalon be much suited to be dealing with a much more expensive unit than these skeleton warriors. However, I guess you can just shoot at whatever you can see, and that's not really a bad thing. And I must say, the artillery from the left-hand side has really been racking up a number on the elves. The elves are now finally committing to this battle with the Dragon Princes moving in. They are, they're kind of a little bit too late. The Chariot's also moving in now. Really nice Chariot hit there, shredding through the Dark Shards and also the Dread Spears. Or the Dread Spears. But it's kind of like almost like they should have been here a little bit sooner to be as effective. But sometimes when you are playing these multiplayer battles, it is hard to do that, as the Skaven are dropping pretty low, and there's not really much left. They've got a few kind of numerous units back here. They've got a few units in here still fighting. And there you go. Murderous Prowess has now been popped for the Dark Elves. So that added damage. However, they've kind of been taken completely out of the game now. They've been pushed back here, but with the High Elf support coming in and dealing with a handful of these units, they're able to really kind of just do a number on the Dark Elves. And this Murderous Prowess is not going to be as effective as maybe they would like. Here we go, some elf on elf action as the Dark Elves and the High Elves do go toe-to-toe with their Spearmen, whose Spearmen do come out on top. I'm pretty sure with Murderous Prowess, obviously it would be the good spears. I think normally the High Elves do have the edge there, but obviously Murderous Prowess has been popped. But reinforcements have arrived, and a Flame Phoenix has now turned up. I love the look of these bad boys. I especially love the arcane ones. Oh, they just look so goddamn good. That's going to be giving them some added support to the High Elves and that front line as best as they can. We've got a Flaming Skull being brought into the fight. There's a big clump here. The Hellspawn Catapult, though, still firing, even though it is being hit by some of the Dark Elf Riders. They need to kind of finish that bad boy off, and the Aspiring Riders, the Aspiring Champions, I should say, are now moving in, and that's just 12 heroes, basically, able to really get stuck in. Such a good unit for Chaos. And we've got more of them moving in here. We've got some of the Forsaken charging down, a real glass cannon unit. However, we are getting a Vortex spell here. I can only assume by the Dark Elves, and that's going to be right on top of the Inspiring Champions, and also the Cavalry, and also the Forsaken. Unfortunately, that Vortex spell did not quite hit in the right direction as they would like. Over on the left-hand side as well, you can just see some minor units being ripped apart right here. Nothing you can really do about this heavy skirmisher formation they have with this cavalry. It's going to really be a pain in the backside. As well as that, the rest of the Tomb Kings are now healing, so that's looking pretty positive for them. But the bounce power is still against them, and the Forsaken, this is a perfect unit for the Forsaken to really get dived in. And I'm very much looking forward to the third game when they do add in custom Chaos units, so you can pledge to certain gods as the Chaos, and it's going to be very exciting. I imagine it'll be something like the Orc upgrade or the Skaven upgrade, where you can just kind of pledge them, give them a mark of Zinch or a mark of Chaos, a mark of Khorne or Nurgle or anything else. Or Slanesh, that'd be super, super cool, and that kind of customizes them on the battlefield. Oh, that'd be juicy indeed. So if we take a look at the overall battlefield, you can see it is a pretty big mess. But that kind of initial Skaven disruption has definitely paid dividends. There are a lot of routing units, and with the High Elves coming in, even though it was a tad late, they're able to kind of like just do that killing blow, that reinforcement to move in. However, I'm very surprised that Malekith is actually routing. Again, I guess all these debuffs is just absolutely huge, and because SNIKCH'S and his assassins have still managed to stay alive, they've been able just to constantly put these debuffs on Malekith, and he's just out of it. I mean, look at him. He's basically useless. He's literally got worse stats than just a basic soldier. He has 45 armor, 19 leadership, now -9 because of the other being surrounded and stuff. He has 1 melee attack and 0 melee defense. This debuff is brutal once stacked upon a hero. Completely shuts him down, and Malekith is just being sent away. I mean, he's walking away like an absolute badass, but I mean, even still, he is just being thrown away, and that's just the power of this assassin comp that has been brought by the Skaven, especially with the Phoenix as well. And it seems like, you know, with their hero leaving, the Dark Elves don't have much left, and even the Orc boys that were sent into this fight have now been sent packing as well. As well as that, obviously on the front line, the High Elves are going to be winning this engagement against just basic skeleton warriors pretty effectively, and their morale has dropped, so they're going to be crumbling, and that's just going to be added damage to the unit. Obviously, they're not going to flee, but it is just that added little bit of damage that will really rack up over time and be very, very effective. So not bad whatsoever. And this flank really needs to dive in. They've got a lot of resources just held up on fighting the Chaos. And units like the Aspiring Champions and the Forsaken fighting against what they're fighting against will just have a great day. Because these Forsaken will get melted if they're put up against the right units, especially now the Aspiring Champions have been thrown in as well. This unit can hold the line and just basically hope for this fight to go in their favor and do the damage. You have got a unit of the Shark Depot being risen up. They are just fighting the Chaos Warriors, who are anti-large, obviously. They're armor piercing, they're good charge defense. So this unit is a perfect unit to deal with the Shark who have been risen up. Unfortunately, though, the Soul Cannon has been killed now. We do get a debuff. I don't even know what this is. Yeah, what debuff that actually is, because again, I haven't played the Tomb Kings in forever. But I imagine this is only doing extra damage for them, so not too bad. We do have some more Raptors going in, the Cold One Knights. Again, a very expensive unit. But, you know, charge defense is going to be doing absolutely fine there. And even though the Chaos have been kind of wrapped up, it seems like the rest of the fight has been looking pretty good for them. We've also still got some of the Sisters of Avalon, still a little bit of HP. The Warriors are still holding firm. You do have the biggest boy though, the biggest boss, Grimgor Ironhide, with all of his bonuses, popping the war, and just getting kind of smacked around, unfortunately, by the Phoenix coming in. Again, popping in a war again as the cavalry come in. But the Assassin boys, Naruto himself, making his way in. And he's going to be doing some serious damage again. The debuff squad arriving. Assassin's Trophy. Brittle Bone upgrade. And even Grimgor now has 0 melee defense, which is just absolutely brutal. And his morale dropping down because he is being outflanked. And there you go. Even the biggest boss is being absolutely shredded by this comp. With the look at his HP just dropping. Oh my god, that is insane. Them debuffs are just crazy. I imagine this is expensive, right? This is probably like 4,000 or 5,000 gold to have this, but it just absolutely melts heroes, which is super scary indeed. And there you go, Grimgor just being made to look like an absolute fool on the battlefield. And I think at this point the battle is looking pretty good for the Skaven, High Elves, and Chaos. Chaos held the line. The forces of the High Elves just reinforced what they needed to, sending some men to help against the Tomb Kings and other men to help against the Skaven assault. And the Skaven just doing that surprise damage. I wonder if the debuff, the buff of being hidden was running out, and that's why they decided to go in. Because I think it would have been very, very useful to maybe hold back that attack. But I can't imagine you have all day to stay hidden, and eventually you will be discovered. So absolutely amazing Skaven kind of assault right there. Really, really awesome stuff. And I love to see quirky armies like that actually have a very competitive play in a large battle. Obviously, in a 1v1, that army wouldn't stand a chance, but in that kind of battle, very cool indeed. And you can see the kills again. That little death squadron of Skaven, pretty scary. And even these guys, like, doing pretty good. There wasn't a single unit on the Skaven roster that didn't really do you know, poorly. Still pretty impressive, especially against when you're fighting against Dread Spears as well. It's kind of like the perfect unit you want to be going up against. A spear unit that isn't supposed to be killing is really more designed for anti-large. So yeah, pretty good stuff right there for sure. And then we take a look at the other kills as well. The High Elves is kind of doing their own thing. The Dragon Princes eventually did arrive. I think the Dragon Princes could have turned up just a tad quicker, but still not bad when they did turn up. And obviously Alariel doing nice as well. Really as well, the Chaos were just kind of like a meat shield more than anything else. Look at the kills on the Forsaken, over 200. And again, that was obviously really down to the fact that they were just up against the Tomb Kings, and the Tomb Kings didn't have any Tomb Blade or anything to really melt them, and they didn't get any of their monsters into them either. So yeah, didn't really see too much from the Tomb Kings in this battle, maybe because I was focused elsewhere, but even still, you're going to get that in 3v3s. And again, the artillery got shot down kind of quickly for the Greenskins because of this Skaven play, so investing in it was a bit of a struggle. Grimgor's still doing good though. 40 kills is not bad, but definitely got wrapped down. Yeah, look at all that cavalry. The Greenskins went heavy skirmish. Again, these Forest Goblins aren't super expensive, and just a lot of artillery, and because of what the Skaven did, they just didn't really stand a chance. So big GG to all the players. Thank you so much for sending in this replay. If you have a very good multiplayer battle for Warhammer, do send it my way, or for any Total War game, send it my way with a list of any mods you were using, and you might see it on the channel. So thank you guys so much for this battle replay, and I'll see you guys in the next one.